Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on a necklace using pieces from my Found Objects Challenge kit. We frequently call this the FOC. But anyway, this kit comes from Thunderhorse Descendant. She puts them out once a month. There is no set beads in this. You do not know what you're going to get when it comes. You just take a chance and hope that you'll really like what you get. Mine is, I do like this one. I think it's pretty cool. It costs $6.30, and you can get it from Thunderhorse Descendant at www.thunderhorsedescendant.biz. Unfortunately, there are not going to be new ones coming out in June for her July challenge because she is going to be gone for part of the month of June, so she won't be able to do it. The next one will be on sale in July. And how this works is you purchase the Found Objects Challenge bag. Costs, like I say, $6.30. Not bad for a bag of beads. So anyway, you don't know what you're going to get. It's a mystery kit, so to speak. None of them are the same. They all have their own items in them. What we do is we make an item and we photograph it. We do a before picture before we start working on things. And then after we are finished with some pieces, we post it to Thunderhorse Descendants design group. And at the very beginning of the next month, she makes a list of everybody who has made something, and then we have a ducky race, and whoever wins the ducky race wins the items that she has chosen as the prize. And it's like $50 worth of beads, so it's really worth playing. I have won a couple of times, and she has good prizes. So I won Larimar sticks one time. I've won some bumblebee jasper and a rutilated quartz to go with that. The last time I won some raw sapphire chips. Well, they're not chips, they're chunks. And a pendant piece. So lots of goodies. Very, very definitely worth well, it's only $6.30. Even if you don't, even if you weren't to win or anything, $6.30 for a bag of beads is sort of fun. Now, like I say, you don't know what you're going to get. But I got some fun things this time that we're going to make a necklace from. So let's turn down and I'll show you what we're going to do. First of all, this is our bag of goodies that I got this month. We've got, I think these are all acrylic, except for these two little metal pieces. We're not going to use these in this project I'm thinking of. And this is a really cool shell bead. See, it's got a hole in the top, so you can definitely use it as a, with something in it, per se, to make a cool, I wonder. I'll have to think, just a second, I got all these beautiful green beads, as well as this glass, this little glass stick here, point. I'll cut this off, but what I had planned on doing is just using this as the focal and making the green beads be our bead strand. But I just had a weird thought. I want to see if it will work. If I can get us to come undone here. Here we go. What if we were to take our crystal and put it inside our shell and then hang it? Just the crystal or the crystal inside the shell? I like something inside the shell, but I don't know that I want it to be the crystal. So we'll put the shell aside And we may make something later with the shell, but what I'm going to use for sure is my crystal as my focal. By the way, you can see in the corner of my screen here, this is Crystal. She's my little dragon. I got her at the Sandpoint Renaissance Fair. She's made with, what is that process they call where they use the lasers to make a... Anyway, isn't she cute? She moves. Anyway, she's going to sit up here and she's going to help us. Oop, Crystal, get out of the way. Okay, there we go. So we're going to use this. I have got some Chrysoprase, a medium soft flex wire. This was a closeout spool, and that's why it's not got a label on it. And then we're gonna strand these beads. I haven't decided how we're going to strand them, but we're going to do that. See, aren't they pretty? So I'm thinking a couple of these tinies, there's not very many of those. Put them right here on either side of the crystal. Let's divide them up and see what we've got as far as various beads. I really like these little speckledy white ones here. I think those are probably going to be our main focal throughout. Though these white ones with the little green stripe around the outside are really cool too. These are a smaller round. Oh, that's a big flat rondelle. So is this one, and this one, and this one. These pinch beads are pretty. I like those. Boy, these are all big fat rondelles. Here we go. Here's a few more of this size, and another one yet. It's a round. Looks like I only have one of that little guy and one little of this little pinch bead. And more of these. Now, since I only have one of each of these, I'm not going to use them. I'm going to put them aside. Bing, back in the bag. And we're going to decide how we want to do this here. Now, this one has a bail on it. I think these are chintzy bails, so I'll probably take it off and put a different bail on. There you go. It's off. And it actually is a little bent, so we'll straighten that. I don't like bent wires. There we go. And like I say, we still have to decide how we're going to use these. 7 of these, 2 of these, 5 of these. These are not quite the same size, so they're close. 4, 6, 5, and lots of these guys. So I'm going to need some silver spacers to go along with this. I do have a few relatively large ones right here. I will have to get some more. I know I do have some more of these. So I'm thinking we'll get a regular bell out, and I'm thinking one of these on either side with and then one of these guys to bring the bigger, start to bring the bigger things in. I think we'll use 2 of the spacers, and then maybe one of these big ones. Crystal, move back a little bit. couple, maybe 3 spacers. One of these, another 3, and another one of the big ones. And of course, we'll do that on both sides. Need some more spacers already, but I think that's how we're going to go with it. Since there's only 5 of this makes this one an extra, so we'll put it back in the baggie. But yeah, I think this is going to be pretty. So let me find another bale, and then we'll start cutting our wire and decide how we're going to go about this. Okay, so I have more spacers here. I'll just dump out the whole bag, because I'll probably use them all. So then we wanted 2 more here, and then there were 2 prior to this little green one here. So then we'll put these 2 in here. And since I really don't have this designed, I did get a bale, by the way, and a jump ring to put it on. We are just going to bring out some wire here, and I am going to work off the spool, and I'm going to start right here where we ended on this side. And when I get to this side and I decide on the rest of the pattern, I will break them up as I go along and put the others to the other side, so they're not getting used. Now, if we don't want to use all our beads for this particular piece, we could put some chain up the back of it if we wanted to. I'd originally had just 1 spacer here, but I think we'll put 2. And here is our bale that I got. Isn't this a pretty one? Now this has a pretty wide hole, so we could put some of the rubber tubing in here if we wanted to. I'm not sure it will stay in there though, but it should be right here beside me. So if I can find it fast, there it is. Sorry, I bumped the camera. We will just see if it will go in there easily and stay. It's likely to slide out to a degree because, well, if the beads hold it in place, it won't. So we can cut it right about here. And this can cut with scissors or clips or whatever, but it's primo for going inside large holes. Now you can also just use it as a like to go over your wire to end your piece if you wish to. It just makes a really cool looking wire cover. So just put this in here. This will hold the bead from sliding around as much. Now on the other hand, if you didn't, you could also use seed beads for this trick. It works really well for seed beads also. But so here's the other little one. Now we want 2 spacers. And we'll go up the line just like we had the other side. I think this is going to be a lot like a spring necklace with this pale green, and then all the speckles on the white bead makes it look like a little spray of flowers. Now we have gotten to where we were ended before, and we have to make the decision of what we're going to go with from now on. So I am going to put a bead stopper on here, and we will sort of, we'll divide these beads up so that we can see what we've got for what we can have for either side. So we have 4 of the tiny ones. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. There's an extra. Put it in the bag. There's 5 of these, so there's an extra, so that one will go in the bag. So 2 on either side. There's 4 of these larger ones. Now these 2 are both smaller, but they're different sized, so I am going to put them aside as well. Then we have 1 each of a pinch bead, and we have 5 of these smaller rondelles, so we'll put 1 of these away. So this is what we've got left. And where do we want to go from here? I think what I'm going to do to start with is to take 2 spacers. Come on, go down. 1 of these tiny ones. 2 more spacers. And 1 of these with the, I think they look like a little Saturn. So that continues our pattern right here, which we started sort of here. So now the question becomes, where do we want to go here? Do we want to go with 1 of these rondelles and 1 of these pretties, like so? So it matches here. Or maybe we should put this pinch bead here. And if we do that, maybe we want these round ones on either side of our pinch bead. Though I'm thinking that's going to be too much green all at once. I'm not sure I like that. I may take the pinch bead out, and we could then put this one back in here again. I think that's what we're going to do. So we'll want 2 more spacers. Oops, 1, 2. Then the round, 3. I hope I don't run out of spacers again. 2, 3. The white one. 2, 3, the green again, 1, 2, a little white and green, and then we will go on with this one just to go here, and then we'll put these in instead of these bigger ones. So 2 spacers. I think I'm going to need more spacers. Hope I have enough. I think I have some more elsewhere, but I will have to check that. Hope so, because otherwise we're not going to have enough spacers for the other side. Oops. Now there is this side all done. As far as all our beads are concerned, we're out of beads now. So we're right. Our turn is right here. So let's see how long this makes this necklace be. So it'd be about 18, because that's right at the money there. So we will have to, well, we'll go on and we'll cut this, see what we've got. I'm going to leave some extra because I usually like about 20 or so inches, but I don't have the beads for 20 or so inches, so we'll just have to see where we're going to from there. Either put on some pretty chain or something. Come on, come off, spool. Fine, do that then. That aside, and we will start stringing up this other side, which will be exactly the same as this side. We can just leave this one sitting here to give us some idea of what we're doing. Now I need to go find some more spacer beads. I'll be back in a bit. Hopefully I have some more of this style. I do believe I do, but... Okay, found a few. Though I will say these are a little older than that set that I've been using, and they're a little bit sort of tarnished. So they're a little duller than the others, but they'll work. We'll try and get the brightest ones down here towards the bottom. Okay, we're right here, so we need 2 again. Then it's our rondelle, 3, our white one, 1, 2, and 3, and our green, 1, 2, the white, and 2 more. So there we go. There is our necklace. Other than whatever we're going to do at the end. I may, since it's going to be 18, I may just end it, but use a lobster claw so I can use an extender chain in case people want it bigger. We do need to put our crystal on the bottom as well, so let's make sure this is, it's actually, yeah, right at 18. So that's a nice length. We could put our pinch bead at the end here too if we wanted to, but since that's such a pretty bead, I don't want to put it in the back. If I was going to have put it in, I probably would have used it like maybe in between these spots right here. But then I wouldn't have had one for up here. It would have only been this one right here. So we'll put these aside and maybe we'll use them in a pair of earrings or something. They'd make very pretty earrings. So this is what we have left from out of our bag of our green beads. We could also make a dangle for the middle of the chain and then just put in the shell and then just put a few beads in the chain with the shell. That might be what we'll do. That would be pretty. But anyway, here we have our necklace. I am going to now hook on our crystal here at the bottom, which is going to be really easy. I've got a little tiny jump ring out here. I'm just going to open it up. Put our crystal on. And close that up. So there's what the crystal looks like on the necklace there. And now what I'm going to do is get a lobster claw. Oh, I cut a lot of extra wire thinking I would put some more beads on here. But unless I can find some more beads to put on here, it's not going to happen. Though actually, you know, I probably do have some pale green sea glass. And since these are all matte beads, that might be pretty. Let me check and see if I do. Well, here's my green sea glass. It is, as you can see, a slightly more bluish color than those. So I don't think I really want to do that. I do have this sea glass, which again is slightly... it's got slightly bluer, but it's a little closer in color to that. Or I have a couple of these little guys, which actually aren't bad with this. As far as this little tiny bead is concerned, it sort of matches it, not too badly. But I don't think so. I think we're just going to bite it as far as the beads are concerned. I wish these two round ones here at the bottom were just a little bit closer in size. See how one is quite a bit bigger than the other one? Because we could put that there if they weren't. Like I said, I don't want to put my pinch beads there. This big guy is all on his own, as is this one. The rest of these are all singles, which it's a pity, but they are. But these guys, see, they're a little bit different in size. I think one is probably a 6 and one is probably a 7 millimeter, but I'm not sure of that. But I still could put them on and we could see how they look. Let's see how they look. Yeah, you can tell they're different sizes too much. See? Though, you know, they're going to be in the back mainly, so I don't really know that that's going to make that much difference. I think I'm going to use them. I'll put those on in a couple more of our spacers. No, in fact, I'm not going to put spacers on with these because these spacers are big enough that our crimp tubes fall into them. So let's get a couple of crimp tubes out. We'll crimp these up. I'll get a lobster claw, a couple of spacers as well as a lobster claw. Well, not a spacer, a lobster claw and some jump rings. And we'll get this going. Okay, I've got a couple of jump rings and my lobster claw out here. So we will, oh, I need some crimp tubes, don't I? Duh. Be right back. Well, actually, I might have them here. Yep, I do. These little bottles are well sealed, which is just as well. So we need 2 of those. So we will put a crimp tube on and then a jump ring. Go back through. That's good. Give it a little space here. Get our crimpers out. I use the magical crimpers. They have a divot in here. You put the crimp tube right in the middle of the divot and squish. And then you turn. Put it in the middle again and squish. And keep doing that as you go around sort of in a circle until it's formed a little bead or won't squish anymore. So there it is. So now I will cut my extra wire off right here. Now see how that almost goes inside this bead. It's right there at it. So just as well I didn't put a spacer there, or we would have been having lots of extra room, or you know, or it would have been really going in. So down you go. Now we got our jump ring there, so through here. And a few of these. Tighten her up. Now we're going to push her down here, make sure we're all in place. And see, we needed to tighten it just a bit more. And I think we're good. Now you'll notice I used my jump ring as a place to hold it while I pulled it. It actually pulls it down a little tighter that way. So now I've moved that up just a hair so we can get in to crimp it. We'll turn and crimp some more until we have it crimped down the way we want it. I don't think it's crimping anymore, so I think we're done. Go in here, get our cutters out, and we'll cut this extra length of line. Now this piece of wire is long enough. I won't throw it away. I'll put it aside because in general I can find something to use it with. So now the next thing we want to do is put on our lobster claw. So to do that, I'm just simply going to take my my chain nose pliers, open up this jump ring, and put the jump ring right on here. Now this baby is done, except I will probably want to put an extender chain on because I like an extender chain if I'm going to be doing this a lobster claw as the closure, because that way if a customer purchases this and they want it a little bit longer, they can always just use the extender chain. So I believe I have some extender chain here, or we can make one. I will look and see if I have one. If not, we will be back and we will make one. I have decided to make an extender chain. I've got this wonderful chain right here that works great for an extender chain. We'll cut off like, I don't know, 2-3 inches, maybe 2.5. 2.5 sounds good. So we'll cut a hunk of this chain off. Put this aside. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open this jump ring up that we have over here on this side. And we're going to put the chain onto it. Now, because I did put the chain on it, and I like a little pretty on my extender chains, I have got a couple, the tiny little bead here that was only one, and I've got the last one of these, and we're going to use a couple of our spacers. I'm going to get a ball head pin out. I like a ball head pin. I like that extra little oomph at the bottom. So I'm going to straighten this out to a degree. I'm just going to use my fingers to do that. Just take hold of the bottom and just straighten her up some. See? Then we will feed this first bead on, hoping it, yeah, it doesn't. Good. Then, and our little guy. Now we have a choice here. We can bead it right, we can wind it right onto the chain, or we can jump ring it. I tend to wind it right onto the chain when I'm doing a little guy like this, because it, you know, it's more secure that way, because the jump ring can open if it really wants to, if you know, if it gets a big enough tug on it. But anyway, I've done my 90-degree bend. Now I'm going to do my round one. Bring her around, leave her open since we're going to wind her onto the chain. Now that I've got that on, we'll grab it with my chain nose pliers, push those pieces back together. We're going to put it right here where they come together. Then I'll take a second pair of pliers and I will wrap this wire around. Cut off the excess. And tuck that in, being very careful because these are glass beads here. There we go, all finished with our little extender chain on the bottom here. So our lobster can go wherever it wants. Put it here where it belongs though. There it is at 18 inches with, of course, our pendant as an extra length. And then we can extend it to 20, actually technically 21, because I think I cut 2.5 inches for our little dangle piece. So there we go. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. So there's the whole thing. There's Crystal guarding us here. And isn't that pretty? I really like how that turned out. Like I say, you never can tell what you're going to get in their FOC bags. I really liked these beads a really lot. And this crystal is really pretty. Well, it's not really a crystal. It's glass. It's imitation crystal, quartz, but it's very pretty. I like it a lot. And then, of course, it's got all the pretty little sparklies on it. So there we go. All finished. So here is our necklace. Our crystal, our pretty green and white beads, our little dangle for our extender chain. Isn't that pretty? I think this turned out just primo. I really like it. I think it's gorgeous. It's going to be really pretty for a spring or summer necklace because it is this pretty pale green. But yes, and this, like I say, is made from my Thunderhorse Descendant Found Objects challenge bag. And again, it's a mystery. You're never sure what you're going to get in your bags. This one, I really loved the components with it. Sometimes I get things and go, how am I going to use those? I usually find a way to use them in something. But these turned out gorgeous for the necklace. And this is all my little beads I have left. I probably will use the pinch beads on a pair of earrings, but I'm not sure how we're going to use the rest. Maybe I'll just make some kind of a little pendant to go on a chain, a little simple one. There's what we've got left. Or maybe I'll add it to the shell and make the shell into an interesting little necklace, which I could do, though there aren't any beads to separate anything out, so I'd have to probably put some extra stuff in there, but we could do that. And we could make the shell into a pendant with these green beads. That would be pretty. So we'll see what we decide to do with those later. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and again, I've been using beads from my Found Objects Challenge bag from Thunderhorse Descendant. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.